Hello, welcome to my channel. Myself Bharti Dubey, and I will explain about the electrostatic force of attraction and repulsion. Already, if you have checked my, if you will check my previous videos, you will find there that I have explained that there is a charging done, and with that transferring of charges are done, and with that transference of charges, obviously one body was made electropositive and one body was made electronegative, and here one body was a loser and one body was a gainer. With that, there is a push and pull. There is a competitive spirit existing. So this push and pull actually give rise to one additional property to these charges, and the charges can show a specific nature of attraction or a specific nature of repulsion. Here, this electrostatic force of repulsion and attraction is given as Coulomb's law in electrostatics. Very important fundamental law of our physics. So, I will start. We have taken two charges. Now for the time being, I have taken both the charges here positive, and they are separated by a certain distance d. Obviously, when these two charges are positive, both are having a same nature, and this same nature always can have a type of repulsion. Now, Coulomb's law, it justifies a force. Already I have told you, because they will have a criteria of push for each other. They are of same nature, because as per characteristics of charges, same type of charges always repel each other. This force now will depend on what factor. This push and pull will depend on what factor? Obviously, magnitude of charges. Why? Because if the charges are having more strength, they will push more strongly. If they are having less strength, they will push less strongly. You might have seen tug of war. Same tug of war is going on here also. And but so this force becomes directly proportional to Q1, Q2. At the same time, these charges are separated by distance. But the distance should also have a limit that should not be beyond a particular distance. What distance should be maintained? They should be in influence of each other. Means first charge and second charge should be the in influence of each other, then only they will be showing repulsion, otherwise the repulsion will not be experienced. So it will become inversely proportional to d square. Why? Because if we are moving apart, obviously the force will be falling off as d square, and combining the 1 and 2, we are getting here F equals to Q1 Q2, sorry, F directly proportional to Q1 Q2 upon d square. There should be one proportionality constant as per the facts. So it becomes K. What does this K and how does it can be calculated? Because it is a constant quantity. Now 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 is the value which is given to it, and epsilon 0 is 8.854 into 10 to the power minus 12 coulomb upon Newton meter square. So K becomes here 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square upon coulomb. This force can be expressed as now, that is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Q1 Q2 upon d square Newton. This is only magnitude. This is only magnitude. It should have a direction also, because it is a force. It is a quantity which is, it is a vector quantity that we will discuss. But some more things to be explained here, that if direction is to be there, what should be the alignment of that direction? Here you see there's two charges. Now one thing it is very clear, Coulomb's law is central force. What is the meaning of central force? this force always exists between the charges, and the direction of force is from center to center. Means the direction will be given in outward direction here. It will be given in outward direction here. It cannot be but at an angle. So this is what I want to explain, that the direction will be there assigned to this Coulomb's law of force by Coulomb's law, and that will be along the centers of the two charges, along line joining the centers of two charges. Now suppose a third charge is brought somewhere here, whether the magnitude of this force will change? No, it will not change. Anything which comes inside will not change, but nature of medium anyhow, because it depends on nature of medium, that is epsilon 0. So the nature of medium if changes, obviously the magnitude of that particular force will change, anyhow direction will not change. For that I am giving you one example. We are having NH4Cl, ammonium chloride, and it is used as an electrolyte in a cell. But we have observed generally when it is in powdered form, it will never show any type of current carrier quality. Why? Basic reason now here comes, that is the value of permittivity of water. When this NH4Cl is dissolved into the water, what happens? The value of epsilon is becoming here F equals to 9 into 10 to the power 9 Q1 Q2 upon D square, and here it will become now 80. So this force becomes 80 times reducible when this NH4Cl is dissolved into water. Why? Because of the nature of permittivity or the nature of medium has been changed. With that reduction of electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion, the ions which are bound there in NH4Cl will start repelling each other, and the force of attraction will be reduced, and this will convert into ion, and as NH4 converts into ion, ions are current carriers in liquid form. So likewise, if we are changing the medium, obviously the force of attraction and repulsion which is given us for two charges showing repulsion or attraction will obviously change. That's all for today's video. Thank you.